up, tribe? How you guys doing? This is going to be your review of Iyanla Fix My Life, we season 7, episode 4. So it's time for this show to end. It just is. This was a pretty good episode, but I still feel like she's phoning it in. I just feel like we're not getting what we would get from her. There were a couple of things that I felt like she ain't dig as deep as she normally would, and she let things go that I feel like she normally wouldn't let go. But it was a decent episode. We have Terrell, who is 40 years old. He's adopted, and he found his adoptive mother. And so now he's trying to figure out how to merge his adoptive family and his biological family, and he sort of feels like he's kind of stuck in the middle. Now, his adoptive parents feel the way that you would expect them to feel. They a little nervous, like, listen, this is my child. I raised him. He belonged to me. But I do understand his need to find the biological mama. But now that she's around, how's that gonna work out? The His mom, his biological mother, she has had a rough go of it. Like, she got a definite story. She had him when she was 12. Then she kept having kids. Altogether, he's got 5 sisters. So altogether, it's 6 of them. Now, only 2 of the sisters came on the show. I always find that very interesting when they can't get the whole family. I mean, I know some people just don't want to be on TV. I get that. But I just find it very interesting when they can't get the whole family. That was like that last family they had when that woman had like 8 or 9 kids and only 2 of them was on the show. I just always find that interesting when we can't get, but. Now, the other thing about Terrell is that he's gay. And he seems very comfortable in who he is. And the biological mother, has made comments like, well, if you raised me, I mean, if I had raised you, you wouldn't be gay. Ma'am, that's not how that works. That's not, it's not how that works. Okay? Um, and Terrell was like, listen, I love, I want to get to know my mama and I want to, but that's not okay. And I'm not okay with her saying those kinds of things to me. And of course Iyanla was like, well, that's a problem. So she had him do a timeline that basically, pictures of things he's done in his life, but as well as the feelings. This was the first time I felt this. This was the first time I felt that. This is when I knew I was gay. This is when I accepted, those things, so that his mother could sort of, the biological mom that is, really get to know him and really follow his timeline, right? Um, um, we met the 2 sisters, and what we found out about the 2 sisters, the 2 that showed up, is that one sister stayed with the mom, and the other sister went to go live with her father's parents, so her grandparents on her father's side. And they also experienced very night and day experiences. So we hear the mom's story, and it was kind of what I expected to hear as far as why she got pregnant at 12. She said that she was molested and she was raped. Well, and this is one of my issues. She never used that word. And I feel like the old Iyanla would have made her say the words. I feel like she was just like, well, things happen. Well, this happened. She never said the word rape. You were raped. Okay, a 12-year-old can't give consent. So whoever was on top of you, whatever they did, they raped you. And I just feel like Iyanla, like, 3 seasons ago would have made her say, we're not gonna make it sound pretty. We're gonna call a thing a thing. But but she just, cause she never said it. And I feel like that's important for her healing process, to understand what it was. Then she said, well, she was at her auntie's house and it was her auntie's boyfriend's friend. And I just feel like when, Iyanla said, well, who was there to protect you? And she was like, nobody was there. Well, who knew? Nobody knew. Somebody knew something. Your ass popped up pregnant. I mean, did they think you were promiscuous? Did they think that you was out here? Like, how did you explain it? What did the family think? And then you kept getting pregnant. Were all of these other pregnancies a result of the same situation? Or did you then become promiscuous as a result of the molestation, which we know does happen with, young girls as well. They become promiscuous because they were violated and that kind of stuff. So I had questions that I felt like Ayanla 3 years ago, I would have got those answers. I felt like I would have known more. And it's not in an exploitive way. It's just in a I don't need to. I guess it ain't my business. But I want to understand how you ended up with. I mean, she had stair steps. He's 40. His other sister's 39. His other sister's 38. He got a sister that's 36. So I'm like, you went boop 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 boop. So I feel like, how did we get here? What had happened? Anyway, then we talked to the two sisters, and one sister, again, she lived with her grandparents, and she lived a fairly normal life, with the grandparents, had her own room, had food in her belly, that kind of thing. And then the other sister, who ended up staying with the mom, she said basically they spent their whole life running from CPS. And, she said the mama would leave them for days at a time and would come back whenever she felt like it. And she said she didn't even start school till she was in the third grade, because if she had been in school, then CPS would have been able to find them. And I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. As somebody who's in the education field, that's deeper than what she just said. Like, I need y'all to understand how deep that goes, that this child did not start school till she was in the third grade. That's deep. And then once she started school, how often was she going? Was she going regularly? What about truancy? And then, the long-term effects, when people start talking about kids who start school and everybody starting at a different level, she wasn't ready to be in the third grade. She was old enough, and that's why they put her in the third grade, but she probably wasn't cognitively ready to be in the third grade. And so, if this is what was going on before the child got to be 5 or 6, I can only imagine what the remainder of her adolescence was like. Now, granted, I don't need all those details, but I'm sure we can read between a whole lot of those lines. And there was a point where, Ayanla said, listen, y'all need to verbalize to your mom. Like, if you've never talked to your mom about your point of view on your childhood and how you felt, like, you've got to express that. So, of course, they had the conversation where they told their story to the mom, and, of course, she got defensive, which you would expect her to be somewhat defensive. Like, nobody wants to hear that even if they know they did, nobody wants to hear they screwed up, And Ayanla told her, just apologize. Just receive it and just say, I'm sorry that I failed you as a mom. And she didn't want to use those words, and she started getting very defensive. It was like, I'm going to say it my way. And Ayanla was like, you don't get to say it your way, because your way is not going to be authentic. You can't say, I'm sorry that I failed you most of the time. No, you did not fail me most of the time. You failed me, period. That doesn't mean you meant to. That doesn't mean that was your intention. It just is what it is. So it was very emotional. Everybody was crying, child. Then the mama said, I just feel like I want to scream. So Ayanla said, well, let's go scream then. So she was outside screaming, sobbing, crying. They was inside sobbing and crying, and everybody was just snotting and crying. And then that's pretty much where the episode ended. I just felt like it kind of left me empty. I don't know. I feel like I want a part 2. Not again. Well, no, I'm lying. We did get, the two mothers got a chance to sit down and talk. And you know what I appreciate that the biological mom said to the adopted mom? She said, thank you. She said, I want to thank you for raising my child. And the adopted mom was like, wow, that means a lot. I appreciate you saying that. Because, neither one of them knew what they was going to get from the other one. Like, neither one of them knew how that conversation was going to go down, right? And so she was like, I appreciate that. And so I feel like there was a full circle with that. And I do feel like they can really work on building friendships and relationships from that. Like, I 100% believe that. The part that just left me a little limp, though, was, like, Ayanla did talk to her about her son being gay. And she was like, well, that's just not what scripture says. The Bible just says, and I still love him. But, see, no, you can't do both. You can't tell him that everything about him is wrong, but I still love you. I mean, you can, but y'all know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, I need you to wrap your brain around and accept this is who your son is. And I feel like by saying, I love you, but this ain't how God, this ain't what you were supposed to be, this ain't what God said. Like, you, no. No. Um, and then on the other side, I'm like, well, God say you ain't supposed to be abandoning your kids and running from CPS either, but that's what you was doing, so. And I'm sure there was some substance abuse. They ain't saying it, but I feel like that was a part of the situation. Because again, this mother definitely needs some. And I know that Iyanla does. I know she gets a lot of flack, but I know for a fact that Iyanla does set these people up to continue therapy wherever their respective home is. So I know that that does happen, and I hope that this woman takes advantage of that because she does. She probably has a lot to unpack and process. Because that woman, listen, that woman done lived a hard 52 years. Remember, she only 12 years older than her son. Her son is 40, and I'm not even saying she looked like she's lived a hard 52 years. I'm just saying you could tell she did. To be that violated to the point where you are pregnant at the age of 12 and then to continue to have children, regardless of whether the rest of those kids were conceived with consent or without consent, that still has to say that a 13, 14, 15-year-old child is getting pregnant. There's still something there that needs to be processed and unpacked. You know what I'm saying? I felt for this woman. I ain't gonna give her a whole lot with the whole gay thing because I feel like maybe she has found the church in her process. So I ain't even gonna give her a whole lot with that. That's something that her and the son gonna have to work through because I think she does want a relationship with him and she wants to accept who he is. But you know, I can't tell somebody how to feel. But I'm saying you're gonna have to work through it though. You're gonna have to work through it because I'm just saying you got to work through it. Anyway, y'all, that's what it was. Again, it was a good story. It was a good episode. I told y'all I like the non-celebrities more than I like the celebrity storylines because you just never know who's on there to try to just be seen, especially the reality ones. Like the non-reality shows, maybe so much, but the reality TV people, I don't know. I just be looking at them sideways. So this was a good story. I've said this before, and I'll continue to say it. It just continues to sadden me with these stories of how we continue, and I say we, I mean as a black community, and I ain't saying it don't happen in the white communities, but I ain't white, so I'm talking about my community, how we destroy our families. Like this, when you look at, if you look at all 7 seasons of Iyanla Fix My Life, there are certain things that are a constant theme. Molestation, right? Poverty, and addiction. All of that is a theme. You can look at every broken family and 2 out of those 3 things will be prevalent, and probably all 3. So anyway, I'm rambling now. I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Peace.